It's go time. Oh man. Peace to the family. Allow people to come up in the room. We got to have a conversation today. Let's make sure my mic and stuff is right. I could be heard. But we definitely got to have a conversation today. Let me put this over here real quick. Make sure I could be heard. We definitely got to have a conversation today. Oh man. As people start coming in, y'all know the rules. Name your city, claim your city you coming from, your FBA city. Rashid, what's good? Hey, Rashid, is that Rashid from North Philly? My brother Rashid? I'm making sure. Is that my brother Rashid from down north? Let's come as people start coming in. When you come in, say your city, what city you come from. Okay, yeah, that's my brother. Okay, yeah, what's up, She? Damn, long time no see. Let's get people in the room. As you come in, put your city in the comment section. Let's see. Hold on for a second. Allow people to get up in the room. Put your city up in there. Let me do this real quick allow the room to fill up some real fast. Let me put this on real fast. Because we got to have a conversation today. Hold on. All right, let me see. In the overlay. That's the logo. Let me see how this might look. Real quick. Just give me a second, y'all. So, what would it look like in the overlay? What's the overlay? Okay. Got you. So, the overlay will put that. Got you. I got you. All right. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, I'll leave it like that. Get back to the comment section. Yeah. So, all right. So, now I'm ready now. I'm ready. My bad. I should have had that before we started. So, we got Staten Island in the house. We got Huntsville, Alabama in the house, right? We got Houston in the house. We got them coming in from everywhere, man. We got that's right. We got Denver, Colorado in the house. I want to have a conversation today, and I'm gonna wait till we get a nice group of people in here before I share my screen and I really get off into it, because I've been seeing. We got Texas in the house. I've been seeing a lot of stuff online where you've been having people coming into these spaces, and if it seems like Africans, they done crowbarred themselves into an argument or a conversation that had nothing to do with them. We wasn't even hold on a second. Let me move this up. We wasn't even coming for Africans. We wasn't even talking about continental Africans. Continental Africans wasn't the problem. They don't even make up 6 million in this country like that. It's not even that many of them like that. So the Africans wasn't the problem, right? We were talking about the Latinos that was overrunning our communities. It wasn't the Africans. For some reason, the Africans done jumped all into this and crowbarred themselves into a conversation that had nothing to do with them. We wasn't even bringing smoke to them. They started coming in and really like saying disparaging things about us for no reason. They started talking about our reparations and things like that for no reason, right? Because a lot of the stuff was, we said that we were sitting out when ICE was going after the Latino community, right? We said that we was minding our business because we knew for so long that the Latino community was practicing anti-Black racism on our communities. Make sure you guys, South Carolina in the house. Make sure everybody that's coming in right now, say your city. It's important that you say your city in the beginning of these live streams, because I want all the FBA haters to understand that we are all over America right now. We're everywhere, and it's a growing consciousness. It's a growing consciousness that's starting to grow and spread everywhere. So I need you to put your city. Everybody, put your city in where you at, because I want them all on notice, and I want them all to know that we ain't going nowhere. right? Cincinnati in the house. We just saw that Jesse Jackson passed away last night. Nashville, originally from New York. I don't have no smoke for Jesse. The only thing I'll say is rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. Condolences to his family. St. Petersburg, Florida, Arizona, Dallas, D-Down, Texas, Los Angeles, California, Shreveport. Everybody's in here, right? Right? Everybody's in here. And I'm saying this. I don't have smoke for Jesse Jackson or his family. My condolences to his family, right? Only thing I'll say, Durham, North Carolina. Only thing I'll say is this. We have a new generation that's separate from the civil rights movement. We honor, we respect the elders of the civil rights movement, but we're going in a different direction. Connecticut in the house, Anaheim, California in the house, right? Trenton, New Jersey in the house. We're going in a different direction. I want the FBA family to understand this. I was only having a conversation with one of my brothers for about an hour before I started this live stream. Durham, North Carolina. For me, those of you guys that love George, that watch me, I don't want anybody disrespecting or saying any disparaging things about Jesse Jackson, right? Especially now in the day's time, right? Let's just stay focused on FBA business, right? Remember, there may be some things that we didn't like about Jesse, what he did, but remember, Jesse has a grieving family that's grieving him right now. And as FBAs, we don't disrespect the unalived. That's not what we do. We do things in decency. We do things in order, right? Lamar Park, Los Angeles, we do things in order, right? North Carolina in here, we do things in decency and order. Remember, we teach people how to treat us by the way we're moving, right? So inside the family of FBA, we got some people that maybe didn't do things right. We got people that did things right. But do not disrespect the dead. Do not. Other people may do that, allow whatever. That don't got nothing to do with us because the way we're moving. We don't want to give the detractors in the Democratic Party any ammunition to use against us as hate speech, right? Where they try to say that FBA is a hate group, we got to move strategically on the battlefield and we got to move cerebrally, right? So Seattle, Washington in here. Yeah, everybody. North Carolina in here. The Carolinas is in here heavy. They in here heavy today. Hold on for a second. Let's do this. Let me do this real quick. Put this link real fast. The Carolinas is in here real heavy. Hold on. Here I come. They up in here heavy. We got Boston up in here heavy, right? Hold on. Where you at? Give more people enough time to get up in the room, because when I share my screen, I want to go in. I'm just sending this link real quick. All right, I gotta send one more, and then hold on, and then we're gonna get right to it. California in the house again. Santan Valley, Arizona, H-Town. We got H-Town in the house, right? So we got them coming in. We got everybody coming in from everywhere, right? Hold on a second. I had to send this link out. Real quick. All right. Here I come. And one more. This stuff I should have did. It seemed like you be doing 1,000 things. We got Austin, Texas. Okay, here it go, right here. This is what I was looking for. All right, I'm back. So we got Indianapolis. It's loyal to the soil. So what I'm saying, and what I'm laying out and what I'm saying is, Jesse Jackson, he was one of the vanguards for the Democratic Party. He was a guy with the Rainbow Push. He ran for president. You had some people that love Jesse. You had some people that dislike Jesse, right? But all I'm saying to the family is, do not slander Jesse as FBAs, right? Do not do it. Understand that we are under fire from a lot of immigrants, the Democratic Party, and everybody's watching us. We are under the watchful eye, and we have to move with dignity and grace and intelligence, right? Because what we're doing now is we're looking to uproot the consciousness of the old way of thinking in the old party, and we want to usher in a new way of thinking. And we don't want to give these people who controls social media in these spaces. See how when ABC ran that story, and at some point they got the story taken down? That's because right now they have the power to get those things taken down. So we got to understand how to move, right? We cannot be moving where we're saying words that they can use as hate. And I want you to understand that Jesse has a grieving family. So as FBAs, we're going to move the way our big mamas taught us to move. We're going to move in decency, grace, respect, honor, and we're going to teach people how to treat us, and we're going to force people to treat us the right way, because we're going to treat each other the right way, right? So Jesse is an in-house argument, an in-house FBA argument, but don't be out there saying messy Jesse, and because that's what the algorithm's going to want you to do, all right? So with that being said, let's get to the show, right? Let's get to the show. RIP, rest in peace, Jesse. Condolences to his family, his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren. FBA is on the move, right? FBA is on the move. Right. Some people started the hate train, and we can't do that. We can't do that, right? And I ain't saying you gotta love them. I'm saying we gotta move smart and move the right way, right? So now, with that being said, you got a lot of people trying to crowbar themselves into our movements, right? People are voicing their opinions on stuff that ain't got nothing to do with us. Now, I saw a debate that Tariq Nasheed was having with this guy, Matt Nuclear, this Angolan tether, right? And in the debate, he said something that made me stop and got my attention. I immediately turned around, right? And he said to Tariq, he said, the only reason why Black Americans has achieved anything, because we've had close proximity to W folks. We've had close proximity to W culture. And that's not the first time that I've heard an African make that statement or speak in those terms, where they would go and say that the only reason why foundational Black Americans have been able to achieve anything is because we've had close proximity to the W man's culture, totally negating any of our achievements. And when I heard this, the mind automatically went to, okay, George, don't get emotional, don't get upset. Let's unpack why he's saying this. So as I started to contemplate, and I started to really think, why is he speaking in this manner? Why are these Africans constantly saying that the only reason why the foundational Black American will be able to achieve anything is because of close proximity to W culture? Then it dawned on me. I said, damn, Africa was under a colonialism, and for so many years, they've had white kings there. White people there running things, from Cecil Rhodes to P.W. Balfour to Frederick Lagarde, just so many people. So many people have been in place to keep King Leopold, have been in place to keep the African in their place, to keep their mindset. So for so long, they'll come here and say that you don't have a culture. They'll come here and say you don't know who you are, where you come from. They'll come here and say that you are a lost people. They'll come here and say that you're lazy, you're ungrateful. They'll come here and say all these things, because I started to say, dang, I get it now. Because what the colonizer did in West Africa, and what they wrote in their writings about the African and the way that the Africans should see themselves, what King Leopold did in the Congo to the Africans, what Cecil Rhodes wrote in his writings about the South African, right? Because see, they had you fixated on the Willie Lynch letter, which wasn't real. And while you was fixated on the Willie Lynch letter, you didn't understand the other letters that was written and what they took from what happened in chattel slavery here in the Americas, right? And what a lot of these people like H.S. Chamberlain and Henry Ford and all these people thought about the Negroes that was here in America. And why that man from Germany, I'm not going to say anything, that man from Germany, why when he wrote Mein Kampf, how he idolized Henry Ford and was given the Golden Eagle, and why he took the teachings and the writings of what they was doing to us here in the shores of North America and was implementing these things in different places around the world. Now we get to understand, see, we didn't flee. We sat here, we fought, we had rebellions. We understood the consciousness of this W man and what we were going through. But when you deal with the African and how they were beaten into submission and they wasn't able to accomplish certain things, when they see you, not all of them, in a form of jealousy. They see you in a form of, if only I can get to America and take his place. I too can be under the tutelage and the teachings of this W man. And I can learn things as well. See, when you hear a man like Frank Zanu say that the Black American doesn't have any culture, right? While at the same time, he'll say, well, he comes from a country of Benin. And in Benin, you have all of these different ethnic groups. They dress different, they talk different, they eat different, right? They have different cultures, 4 ways, more ways. They have all these different things, and they all been forced together into a country that they wouldn't have never formed themselves. And this is why they can't build, right? In a place where they're the majority, even in the place where they understood who the W man was and what these people have done, what the French has done there, what the Arabs have done there. They still can't come together, unify to build anything. Even when you have an African that may have know-how and a skill set, they won't vote for him because he's not part of their tribe, right? You have these groups of people in Senegal and these other countries, right, that's been amalgamated together and forced together, and they won't work together. They don't even see each other as brothers. They don't see each other as anything. When they come here, what do you think the mindset is when they encounter you? And you wonder why Pan-Africanism never existed. See, we use terms like brother. That's my brother. That's my brother. Right? Right. And I know it's not all. That's what I'm saying. We're not saying all, but it's a very, very large portion of them there. And we're dealing with the psyche of the African and the mindset of what happened when they come here with a tribal way of thinking, because we got to understand what happened in West Africa and how these groups, these countries were formed, right? With running tribes and pushing them together, and why you have so many different neighboring tribes and so many different neighboring customs and cultures. What happened? What did the European do? What did the Arabs do? What did Africans do to each other? And where does that consciousness and mindset come from? So now when they come and encounter you, see, remember, we say brother as a word of endearment. This is my brother, right? That's my brother, right? They're not operating like that. No other groups is really talking like that but the Black Americans. And the reason why the Black Americans are so disgruntled today, because we found out that while we were saying brother and Africa for the Africans wasn't echoing those same sentiments for the most part. Most Africans wasn't echoing those things. That's not what they was carrying, right? Hold on a second. Right, yeah, shout out to Godfrey, right? They wasn't carrying that. They come over with their tribal beliefs, their tribal way of doing things. And that's not going to work for the Black Americans. When we come here after we finish busting on you, we consider you our brother. See, Farrakhan was able to come over and be considered a brother. Shirley Chisholm was born here and be considered a sister, right? And could represent the group, right? CLR James and all these different people that y'all like to name, they came into a system that was already set in place, that was already moving, and the arms was wide open. Come on in as brothers. But when you come in with a tribalistic way of thinking, it's not going to work. It's a powder keg waiting to explode. Because what you are now doing is coming to usurp what we're doing. And I'm going to prove that today when I share my screen, right? I'm going to prove that. What's that? So let me say this, right? Let me say this while I'm building and while I'm teaching, while we're in the classroom today. Let me see, I got any my mods in here yet? As my mods start to come in, I don't, while I'm teaching, I don't want none of you Africans or Caribbean, my brothers and sisters, debating in my chat room. We're in the classroom, I'm teaching, I expect undivided attention, right? I haven't shared my screen. I haven't allowed nobody to come up. You can disagree, but don't be causing dissension inside my comment section to the point where it becomes a distraction from what I'm teaching. It's disrespectful. We're building here. Yeah, hold on. Let me get some mods up in here. Hold on. I got you outside. I definitely got to give Hassan his wrench. Hassan been with me for a while. I don't even know why you ain't even got a wrench. Hold on a second. Who else in here? Some of my hardcore, long-time followers up in here. Hold on. I got you. Renaissance woman, I got you. All right, so now I got some minds up in here. So all I'm saying is everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome, right? But while I'm teaching and building, I don't need distractions because I'm teaching something that's important. And I'll preface it by saying, yeah, what's going on, Hassan? I'll preface it by saying what I'm saying ain't directed at all Africans, all Caribbeans, right? And I shouldn't have to explain this. If I have to keep explaining this, now you're being willfully ignorant and disrespectful. Because we know that we're not talking about all Africans. I know on the continent of Africa, on the ground, these people that's not getting a green card, there's a lot of people that are 10 toes down that rock with us. But I'm talking to the ones that are willfully ignorant and disrespectful, and they know who I'm talking about. Because a lot of you Africans and Caribbean people, you know what your fathers and your mothers say about us. And I never ever see you making videos calling that out. But you come over into my spaces with a problem with what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying is correct. I'm from Philadelphia. I know what a lot of the older Africans would say, stay away from those Black Americans. So until you start calling that out, do not be disrespectful or disingenuous, because I'm talking to you, not every African. I got a lot of Africans I live in Philadelphia. I got one of my best friends is from the Ivory Coast. I got a lot of African friends that are thorough, 10 toes down, that rock with us, that fully understand what FBA is and why we're delineating, and they're in full support. I got my homie from Ivory Coast said about time, because he been said you guys are the last ones that's trying to gatekeep your culture. So if you are African and you got a problem with this, then you are the problem. Because again, I don't see none of y'all with channels calling out your father, your uncle, that if you find out I'm clapping your sister's cheeks, you know darn well your family got a problem with it. And it's disgusting and it's a shame. But y'all not calling that out. That's all I'm saying. That's my only issue. And when I share my screen, I'm gonna talk about that. So why don't y'all stop lying and stop trying to say that we're a hate group and we hate all Africans when we don't hate all Africans. We don't. We don't like the ones that undermine us and disrespect us. That's it. And we ain't got to keep saying that, keep explaining that. Our conversation is about those in this country that when you in your house and your barbecues and you got disrespectful stuff to say about us for no reason. When you ain't running for your life in America from Black Americans, we ain't harming you. We ain't harming you. So let me get back to the show. I'm gonna wait till we get 500 in the room. We got 479. Once we get up to 500, I'm gonna share my screen. Well, I'm gonna share my screen, and then we gonna build from there. Because, like I said, you got a lot of stuff that's going on. We got a lot of detractors, man. We have a whole lot of detractors, that's in these spaces. That's Delaware in the house. Fleece Johnson. What the hell? Why you got that name, Fleece Johnson? So I'm gonna share my screen now. We just gonna get off into it. We 20. Damn, well, time be flying by. We 25 minutes in. Let me share the screen. Let's get right off into it. Hold on a second. One second. Okay, here we go. Now, I want y'all to listen to this conversation, right? Let's get off into this conversation here. Conversation that Tariq Nasheed is having with
to undermine you guys. I have a lot of respect, actually.
You can't undermine us, sir, because you have fled from your homeland. You are a de facto refugee. So you can't undermine us. You don't have the power or the clout to undermine.
But let me ask you a question. Who came here in more dignity? So I came here when I was 6 years old, right? My family, my ancestors specifically, they weren't brought here on a ship. They weren't told when to eat. They weren't thrown overboard. I came here with dignity. I came here with respect. You guys...
Slow down. Let me slow down.
Dignity.
Sir, so is crapping on the street in your homeland dignifying?
That's what you would be doing if it wasn't for the white Europeans.
No. Ain't no woulda, coulda, shoulda.
So let's stop right there. So he said if it wasn't for the Europeans, we would be crapping in the streets. Now y'all hear that. Now, another thing I want y'all to pay attention to. He said his family came here dignified, right? They came here willfully. We didn't, right? Now, let me ask y'all a question. This guy, Matt, is Angolan, right? When you hear his vernacular, when you hear him speak, he doesn't sound like an African. He's not portraying himself to be African. The woman that he lays down with is some W Cooch, right? He doesn't wear his African clothes. He's ashamed of his existence. When he looks at himself in the mirror, he gets frightened. He's ashamed of the very essence and aspect of who he is, right? And he's now trying to debate Tariq Nasheed on what Black America is and talking about dignity. But he doesn't even respect his culture enough to even show his culture or who he is. See, they can talk this stuff. They can't do that with me. In a debate, now listen, because he's gonna say things about we don't even speak English correctly. Well, we're not Europeans. We're not supposed to speak English correctly. He's an Angolan. Why is he trying to speak perfect English? What's wrong with his Angolan dialect? What's wrong with his cultural Angolan language? What's wrong with his cultural Angolan clothes? He abandoned all of that. And remember what he said. You don't stop right there. Remember what he said.
Family, my ancestors specifically, they weren't brought here on a ship. They weren't told when to eat. They weren't thrown overboard. I came here with dignity. I came here with respect. You guys...
Slow down. Let me slow down.
Dignity.
Sir, so is crapping on the street in your homeland dignifying?
That's what you would be doing if it wasn't for the white Europeans.
No. Ain't no.
So he said if it wasn't for the W Europeans, we would be crapping on the streets. But this is being said by a man who is Angolan. See, we don't hide our culture, who we are, and we don't try to be like W folks. We know. See, I don't like the term they say, talking like a W man. No, let's keep it all we real. You could talk professionally, but we don't talk like W people. We have a different language, different way that we speak language. You could be very professional and don't have to talk like W folks. A lot of black folks, when they do that on purpose to try to ingratiate themselves to us. There's a lot of black people that can be very professional with their own tone in the way that we talk, in the way that we speak, right? This guy is trying to sound like a European when we know damn well Angolans, I guarantee you his parents don't talk like this. But at the same time, he's telling him, see, think of the thought process of this. He's telling Tariq that we would be crapping on the ground if it wasn't for the W man. So he knows that that's why he came here to take your place, to get up under this W man so he can kiss the feet of the W man. They're not even hiding this stuff. So a lot of y'all that get mad at us, these are the tethers that we're talking about. See, as an African, you should be angry at somebody like this because he doesn't even want to be a reflection of his African culture. He wants to totally abandon it, but then come here and have something smart to say about us because when he doesn't believe that we was able to achieve anything, and he doesn't believe in his own culture. He believes that the only way that he can live and survive is to get into some W cooch, create a baby, and let's keep it some more. I'm telling y'all this.
We could have should have. We don't.
Now stop right there. He said he came here in dignity. Now I want y'all. Now again, right? He and go further.
I never had to do that.
Right, sir. You guys saved you. You over here.
No, even when I was there, I never had to do that.
No. Yeah, because we saved you. You had to come over here among the foundational Black Americans so that you would not be wiping that ass with.
Can we clarify something? Because you guys always talk about, bush meat and, you have to wipe your ass and all this sort of stuff.
Right.
The reason why you aren't eating bush meat is not because you're of a different lineage. The reason why you aren't eating bush meat is because this country was 90-something% white, and you have been subsidized by the whites. The whites have been subsidizing you and helping you and giving you all these different programs.
Now see. So I need Africans to fire up their channels, and you should be incensed. You should feel disrespected. You should feel betrayed. You should feel let down. You should feel upset because this African is a reflection of the consciousness of Africa. If you are an African and you are mad at FBA, but not a person like this, he's saying that the only reason why we got these things is because the Africans subsidized us. Now today, when I read these letters of these African kings, these white African leaders, these white African kings, I'm going to show you why he thinks the way that he thinks. So I don't expect no more Africans to be in my comment section trying to distract us or being upset with us because your fellow African brethren, he believes that the only reason why we've been able to achieve anything is because we were subsidized by the W man. We've been under the tutelage and the teachings of the W man. So now his family they looked over the hill and saw blacks successful. And they said, there's a W man. Oh, we want to go over there with them. And then you came here to replace us. See, if you take the emotion out, you let them talk long enough. They'll expose themselves. And why you can't have Pan-African or no multicultural immigrant coalition. How can you have a coalition with people that think like this? How can you have a coalition with people that think like this? Unpack that. Our engineers, they would have kept it.
Sir, you guys have to rely on Red Cross. You guys have to rely on Red Cross rice and Red Cross grains. We don't do all that. We know how to take care of each other. We've always taken care of each other, sir. As foundational Black Americans, we've always known how to get it out the mud. These people have worked against us. They've destroyed some of our prosperous business districts, and we had to rebuild over and over again. We didn't flee like you guys did. You guys get a couple of setbacks, and y'all have to flee all over the world, sir.
So look at that. He can't where they at and call.
And then you have to come over here up under us, sir. All right?
hold on. Let me just say something real quickly. So 1526, that's when the foundational Black American, lineage starts, right?
1526 is when we first had resistance against the white chief supremacists on this land.
Okay, so 500 years that would be. So 500 years, you guys are still putting the is where the are should be. You guys can't even speak English. It's been 500 years. Where is you going? What?
Now you hear what he's saying, right? What he's doing is dog whistling to the W supremacists to say, hey, I can be a better follower than your Black Americans. Hey, I'll speak English the right way. I'll put my African traditional clothes up. I'll even get a W woman. I'll even help you out and put my African DNA in the womb of a W woman to create this mulatto agenda. I'll even be a part of that. I'll run all that. Hey, W man, I'm over here. Me, I'll be one. That's exactly what he's doing. And if you Africans, if you're not offended by this, then you are the problem. You are the problem. Hold on a second. So you see, shout out to the European American woman. Well, let me block you right now. Let me hide you from the channel. You're going. You won't be here ever again. Get you right up on out of here. Quick, with the quickness. All right. Let's get him up on out of here. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me do this. I was over here messing up. All right, let's get back to it.
What is you doing? It's 500 years.
Well, you have to gravitate towards that because most of us don't talk like that. But even if we do,
you guys do.
No,
you guys do.
And let me tell you something. When we talk like that, we know how to code switch because the people who talk like that, they can code switch, sir. You can't code switch hunger and famine, sir. That's part of your culture. That's
you guys
part
can't even speak English. It's 500 years.
No. You have to run over.
So just think about this. This is an Angolan, right? We are people of indigenous to the Americas, and some of us came over on them slave ships, right? Why would we speak proper English? No other groups. You don't say that to the Chinese. You don't say that to these other groups. This is the thing. Why don't he speak Angolan? Why don't he speak with an Angolan accent? Because he's embarrassed of his culture. Listen, he said in his own words, he believes that white culture is better than his. This is what he believes. And he stands on that. He's proud of that. So even in the debate, he's arguing with another Black person about speaking proper English, and he's an Angolan. What does that say about him?
Over here to us who's speaking like that so you can be safe and you can eat, sir. Because, yeah, you tired of the monkey McNuggets over there in your failed homeland, sir.
You guys can't speak English.
Yeah. So is you running? Is you fleeing? We can say that. Is you eating bush meat? We can say that.
Listen, brother.
All right.
This is the thing with the FBI movement. You guys have a lot more to worry about.
No, we're good.
Your children can't read.
We don't, sir.
They're sagging their pants in the streets.
Sir, y'all don't have schools out there like that, sir. You guys, that's why you here. You
guys have schools and can't read.
Yes, we can read. We can read good enough not to flee. All right. We ain't fleeing. We can read good enough to stay here and chill. We're not eating Red Cross rice and
whites are here.
No.
You hear what he said again? The whites are here. He's he's dog whistling all day, and this is the way that a lot of them think. Don't think that this is just exclusive to him. Don't think like that. And this is what I'm saying. Hold on a second. I got you. FBI be talking cat. I got you. We're gonna get you. We're gonna send you on an extended vacation too. Got you. That's all right. Don't even worry about it. Now you hear that again? The whites are here. So if he can use that in the argument, why is he here? What does that say about him and his country? See, he doesn't believe his country is good enough. He come here to have close proximity to W folks. So what I'm saying is you wasting your time when you even having conversations with a lot of those people because they don't believe that you could achieve anything. They come here to have close proximity to W folks. Right? But let's listen. Now hold on. Let's go over here. real quick. Let's go over here. Let's go over to here. Hold on.
Called American descendants of slaves. Your parents are not American descendants of slaves.
Hello?
Your parents are from Africa, correct?
Yes.
That means you have they didn't pick no cotton here. They wasn't brought over here. They just got over here in the last generation. Talking about you just gonna turn this into whatever the fuck you want to. Why are you trying to disrespect my birthright?
So allow me to respond.
Now, this is a brother from the South, Ado's brother from the South, having a debate with a Nigerian that's trying to crowbar himself into our culture, right? And he's trying to listen. His thought process is just skewed. But watch this. Watch what they do and how they try to force their way into the culture.
Hello. By your definition,
it's not my definition. It's not my definition.
By your definition, then
it's not my definition.
If Africans and their children aren't any business of what's going on here,
say that again. I'm lost. I said I'm talking about reparations.
Yes,
that's my birthright.
Yes, and
you're saying have no business here. I'm talking about reparations.
You're saying me as a descendant of an African,
you have no right to my birthrights as far as reparations.
Absolutely.
So when they bust that check open, it's going to be because of the blood that was shed on this land from my ancestors.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's the problem with that?
And what you need to realize is that the people you're talking about, a large part of them were African.
Okay.
And they had children who are descendants of those Africans.
American descendants of slaves. What are you? Do you understand the word American slavery here?
Absolutely.
Are you stupid now? So have you lost noggin? American slavery, America, not Africa, nigga.
Yes.
So what the fuck?
Yes. So what I'm trying to tell you is by your definition, saying that Africans and African Americans shouldn't have any part of one another's business.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
let them talk, bro.
You would be
You would be cutting out hundreds of years of the reparations you're seeking.
I still don't understand because it's none of your saying.
They weren't American.
I'm talking okay.
So what he's trying to say is that because we're not including Africans, we would be cutting out hundreds of years of our story, where we're trying to tell him no. First of all, you guys don't even have a full story in Africa because of what colonialism has done to your countries. Our story of what happened to us here is what we're talking about and why we're starting to hear, because we have a grievance against the government of what they've done to us here. So we don't have to mention Africa. We have to mention what happened to us in the shores of America under the rule of this government, right? And what happened to us. What they're trying to do is crowbar themselves in and say, well, when you came here, you were African. So we have every right to speak on your stuff and be connected. No, you don't. Because remember, when you go back to Africa and you go back to their tribes, right? The Yoruba don't get into Igbo business. The Igbo don't get into Hausa business, right? The Hausa don't get into Mandingo business, right? The Ashanti don't get into Akan business. Right? We have all these different cultures, but for some reason, as a Nigerian, when they come here, they build whole Nigerian communities in Texas and stay away from us. But now all of a sudden, you want to have a conversation about what we're doing. It's none of your business. So even if we were saying, hold on for a second, because y'all need to hear this. Even if we were saying that we were African, right? Full-blooded Africans. He still don't have an argument because as FBA, and say we was F foundational Black Africans, let's just say we was FBA Africans. He's not part of our tribe. He's not part of our lineage. It's none of his business. He is a Yoruba or an Igbo. He's over there on his side. When we was taken from, if go by the argument, we taken from Africa and we had an ethnogenesis here, he's not a part of that. So why are you even speaking on it? You wouldn't go speak on Hausa stuff. That's none of your business. But this is how they try to crowbar themselves into our conversations.
That's why it's called ADOS.
Yeah.
We want to hold the people in America responsible. Yeah.
How can you hold them responsible for people who you're saying you have nothing to do with?
Because my ancestors.
Do you understand that?
Yes, I understand my name. It's called Simpson. I know that's directly. I know my lineage.
Oh, whoa.
Simpson, I know my lineage.
It's not a black.
It's a slack. Exactly.
Okay.
And you want to tell your last name?
You
want to tell your last name?
This is what I'm trying to say about Breadman.
You still losing me, bro. It's called descendants of slavery, bro. It didn't happen in Africa. It happened here. That's what we're fighing for reparations for.
I heard you.
You can't move it over there. You want to move it over here and move it over there. It's going to happen here, nigga.
Breadman is choosing to define his blackness by a white person's terms.
This nigga talking dumb.
White people, because they're paying money, they have to differentiate who specifically they're paying money to.
Black people created.
So he said that we're trying to explain this through a white person's term. Ask them who gave them the term Nigeria. Who was Flora Shaw? When was it named? Right? Like, ask them who Frederick Lagarde was and what they did in Nigeria and what they did to him. See, he's talking to a brother that can break stuff down, but he's not knowledgeable enough to shut him down and shut him out. Shut him all the way out. Because he shouldn't be running his mouth at all. Because he has the first, see, and this is another African. He doesn't have on no Nigerian traditional garb on. He's not speaking in none of his languages. He doesn't even have the vernacular. His voice is not even of the way an African would talk. He's not showing nothing representative of Nigerian culture, but yet and still he has an audacity to have a conversation with a foundational Black American about our culture, while at the same time he's sitting here dressed and looking like an FBA. See the audacity of these people? The audacity. They don't come at me with this because it'll be over in 3 seconds.
They had to discern, you can get money, but you can't, because we can only link it to people who are directly affected by this, right? So he's choosing to define his blackness by white people.
Did you take geography?
Yo, yeah, I mean, like, so, and this is why I say, like, anyone who's on that ADOS shit, it's just about, like you said, it's about the check.
Basically, people who were brought here from Africa to America as slaves, and they have organized an organization in order to incur and secure reparations, many forms of reparations for those exact people, you know what I'm saying, that are still here, the descendants of those people.
And another reason why I say Breadman is choosing to define what he views as being black, letting white people define it, is because why would you think that captured Africans wouldn't be an African's business?
I never said that.
It just sounds stupid.
I never.
Now, he made that statement. Why would you think that captured Africans wouldn't be an African's business? Well, y'all didn't care about us. Y'all said, did you just hear what that Angolan was saying? He said that they came here with dignity. They said that we were slaves. They said we was cargo. They said that we don't know who we are. Now all of a sudden y'all want to act like y'all got concern for our well-being. Now all of a sudden y'all care about our business. Nigerians build a whole community separate from us. Nigerian fathers don't want us in their daughters' cooch. They don't want us around them. Now all of a sudden, this Nigerian talking the same way an African American would be, dressed the same way an African American would be. Now all of a sudden he's concerned about our business. Now all of a sudden he's concerned about our well-being, when just 5 years ago they was calling us Sakata and they had all kinds of names for us. Now all of a sudden, because we want to separate and want to name and claim ourselves like every other group, it's a problem. Ask him who Frederick Lagarde's wife was and why she coined the term Nigeria. And what did Frederick Lagarde think of the African, of the Nigerian? How about that? Ask him that, because we're going to cover that today. See, we in the classroom today. It's Black History Month. We're going to cover that today.
Said that. You sound dumb that black people will come over here and go through what we went through and not want to fucking get up, get reparation, and get retribution. You sound dumb. You sound extra dumb to even question me.
That's your only concern.
You sound dumb to even question me about it.
To act like you
it's not weird.
Care about an issue when all you're really,
my nigga, if you're not from here, respectfully, you look dumb. You sound racist. Now you sound like a white man.
What do you mean from here?
You're talking like a white man.
What do you mean from here?
He's not. He don't have no rights to what about.
What do you mean?
His parents are from Africa. So the reparations that we're talking about, he would not have claim to. He's not an American descendant of a slave, period.
Okay, so, I get it.
Period.
His parents were born in Africa and were enslaved, so they came here. Like, that's what you're saying? Like,
he has no blood shed here in this country, period. Not him, not his parents, not his grandparents, not his parents' parents. They just came over here.
Now I understand what you're saying.
It's for what happened on this country, in this land, American, the blood that was shed here, the slavery that happened here, the money that was brought in here, come on, man, all this fucking money, man, all these fucking enterprises, all this shit that was built off of our backs here in America, that's what we talking about. The atrocities that happen here in America, we talking about holding these people responsible. Some of these motherfuckers still alive. He don't know nothing about that. He don't care nothing about that. I do, though. He don't give a fuck about that. They just got over here.
She worked 3 to 4 jobs just to provide for me and my four siblings as an immigrant. Immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity, to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it, to everyone willing to work for it, to everyone willing to work for it.
So of course he's gonna look at me and laugh. He's gonna chuckle. He's gonna go take us all around the corner and say African this and this. But what about this and what? You don't know shit.
I know more.
It's not your bag. Apparently you don't. You tried to tell us that American slavery happened in Africa. You don't know. You literally said that.
When did I say?
Oh my God, I'm gone, Flip. I'm done. I'm leaving.
Very narrow the definitions he's choosing to use, and he's letting white people define the terms of those definitions. Like, if the entirety of what you choose to feel is your blackness is just defined by who white people are going to give money to, then you're a lost black person. That's what I would call a coon.
Real quick. So D Chicago, you doing that again? Go to the black church, go to the black schools and ask those FBAs, what are you doing for black literacy? Go into the Nation of Islam. If you're going to keep being disrespectful, you come in my spaces, because I already told you FBA is a representation of everybody. So stop coming in here doing that, bro. Just show a brother some respect, man. You're not stupid. And you FBA, you're not stupid. Like, stop trolling, man. FBAs are the black church, the Nation of Islam, Sunni Muslims, Hebrew Israelites, Democrats. Go ask the Democrats what they're doing. FBA is a lineage of people, not a gang. I need you to show some respect, man. Like, come on. Like, stop doing that. I expect that from immigrants. If you disagree, then just go find something else to watch. I don't even want to time you out. Just show some respect. That's all I'm asking.
A nigga who lets himself be defined by white people. That's what I would call a coon. So,
hold on, let's go back, because I had to go to the bathroom. I want to go back.
How dumb to even question me about it.
To act like you
it's not weird.
Care about an issue when all you're really,
my nigga, if you're not from, if you're not from here, respectfully, you look dumb. You sound racist. Now you sound like a white man.
Just anybody in there, don't time D Chicago out. I'll deal with D. Don't time him out. I'm not gonna get upset and go crazy, but all I'm saying, brother D Chicago, right? You're not dumb. You're intelligent. Go ask the FBAs of the Democratic Party and all those people that lineage the questions that you have. That's all I'm saying. But don't time him out. Don't time him out.
From here.
You're talking like a white man.
What do you mean from here?
He's not. He don't have no rights to what about.
What do you mean?
His parents are from Africa. So the reparations that we're talking about, he would not have claim to. He's not an American descendant of a slave. Period.
Okay. So, I get it.
Period.
His parents were born in Africa and were enslaved, so they came here. Like, that's what you're saying. Like,
he has no blood shed here in this country. Period. Not him, not his parents, not his grandparents, not his parents' parents. They just came over here.
Now I understand what you're saying.
It's for what happened on this country, in this land, American. The blood that was shed here.
I got it.
The slavery that happened here. The money that was brought in here. Come on, man. All this fucking money, man. All these fucking enterprises, all this shit that was built off of our backs here in America. That's what we talking about. The atrocities that happen here in America, we talking about holding these people responsible. Some of these motherfuckers still alive. He don't know nothing about that. He don't care nothing about that. I do, though. He don't give a fuck about that. They just got over here.
She worked 3 to 4 jobs just to provide for me and my four siblings as an immigrant. Immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it, to everyone willing to work for it, to everyone willing to work for it.
So of course he's gonna look at me and laugh. He's gonna chuckle. He's gonna go and take us all around the corner and say African this and this. But what about this and what? You don't know shit.
I know more.
It's not your bag. Apparently you don't. You tried to tell us that American slavery happened in Africa. You don't know. You literally said that.
When did I say?
Oh my God, I'm gone. Look, I'm done. I'm leaving.
Very narrow the definitions he's choosing to use, and he's letting white people define the terms of those definitions.
And see, this is the thing. These are the talking points that they try to use. He's trying to say that we're letting W folks define the terms. No, we're not. We're defining our own terms. But this is what happens when you bring them into us because they have a certain mindset. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read something to you guys. Yeah. The other day. Yeah, just if y'all timed them out, but don't block them. Don't block D Chicago. Just time him out. He's been around a long time. Don't block him. I just want him to just show respect to the chat. That's all. But don't, if you time him out, but don't block him. But when he come back, don't time him out. He can voice his opinion, but I just wanted him to show respect to another brother that's teaching. That's the only thing. D Chicago is FBA. So we got to work with our people. It's not going to always be easy, but we got to work. We got to be patient. We got to work with our people. All right. But let's listen to some more before we go off to the next, because I'm going to show y'all something.
Like, if the entirety of what you choose to feel is your blackness is just defined by who white people are going to give money to, then you're a lost black.
You know what's funny? He said it's going to be defined by who white people are going to give money to. He's showing you right now that he has absolutely no respect for our plight, because these are the same groups that come here to get away from us. They don't come here to join us. You don't see the Nigerian community integrated with the black community. No, they're separate from us. But now when it's time to get money, he's sitting at the table talking about us, but I'm going to show you why they think the way that they think. I'm going to show you where that comes from. See, we stayed here and fought against this European, right? We stayed here and fought tooth and nail against this European, and we developed a way of thinking. Now, I'm going to show you guys something, right, in regards to Africa, right? Hold on. Let's do this, right? And where some of this thought process comes from. Let's do this real fast. Because it's Black History Month and we in the classroom. Y'all need to see this. I read this before, but now that we got an audience, right? Y'all saw my thumbnail. Now y'all saw the thumbnail. We're gonna talk about this man here, right? And a letter. See, y'all remember the letter that was allegedly written in the 1700s, right? The Willie Lynch letter, which wasn't real, right? We're gonna go and deal with a letter that was real. King Leopold's letter that was written in the 1800s, right? And hold on, where my glasses at? Hold on, that fat. I want y'all to listen to this letter. And I want y'all to listen to the letter. This letter was written around the time slavery was already in full-fledged on its way over, right? And they took what happened in the Americas, the Caribbean, South Africa, and everything. And he went into the Congo and he said, check this out, right? I want y'all to listen, very important, because this is the thought process. This is the thought process of the African, right? Reverends, fathers, and dear compatriots, the task that is given to fulfill is very delicate and requires much tact. You will go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interests. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the savages to know God. This they already know. They speak and submit to Mungu, Nzambi, Nzamba, and what else I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie, and to insult is bad. Have courage to admit it. You are not going to teach them what they already know. So what he's saying already is they already had at that time some form of morality and moral. And I'm going to show you what they did to the mind of the African and what happens when we encounter Africans that come here today, right? Right? Which are your essential, hold on, let me highlight this so I can see. Hold on, nope. Oh, ain't gonna let me. All right, your essential role is to facilitate the task of administrators and industrials, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will be the best to protect your interests in that part of the world. For these things, you have to keep watch on disinteresting our savages from the richness that is plenty in their underground, to avoid that they get interested in and make you murderous. Competition and dream one day to overthrow you, right? So now they were psychologically conditioning them to see the world through the lens that they wanted them to see, where they wouldn't overthrow because they knew that they were the majority there, right? Watch this. Your knowledge of the gospel will allow you to find texts ordering and encouraging your followers to love poverty, like happier are the poor because they will inherit heaven, and it's very difficult for the rich to enter the kingdom. You have to listen to this. You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives courage to affront us. I'm going to read that part again. Listen, we in the classroom because we have to understand in this FBA movement why we're encountering the things that we're encountering, right? You have to detach from them and make them disrespect everything which gives them courage to affront us. I make reference to their mystic systems and their warfare protection, which they pretend not to want to abandon. And you must do everything in your power to make it disappear. So they took all the fight out of them. And this is why they're saying today that you only have what you have because you've been under the tutelage of the W man, because he's wiped out all the fight of the ones that want to come here, get some W cooch. They have the Pink Panther in their womb. They want to speak out against our reparations. They want to tell us how we should be joining things. Once they get their education, they're not going back to Africa to rescue their people. They're staying here under the watchful eye of the European. Listen, your action will be directed, except this is very important. I need everybody listening. Listen. Because they did see what you guys need to understand. Hold on, real fast. What the family need to understand is what he's reading is what they did to us and what we was fighting against. And why we have coons and sambos today. They was implementing this in the Congo. They had already did it to us, right? And so we know this. They did it in South Africa. They did it in Kenya. Right? So now he's implementing this same consciousness, right? This same consciousness now in the Congo. Your actions will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priests is contradictory to their parents' teachings. I'm going to read that again. And what they did to us and why we're still struggling today. Your actions will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when our recommendations of the priests is contradictory to their parents' teachings. That's what we talk about today. That's why our kids are going around calling themselves real niggas and bad bees and wilding out. And we got these coons and sambos, because no matter what we was teaching them, when the enemy is teaching our kids, they don't rebel against him. We rebel against ourselves. Right? So we understand this. So now, hold on. So now, when the tether come here and tries that, we already know it because we know the game. We know the game. We already know what you're trying to run, and it's not going to work here, right? So let's proceed on, right? Listen to this. Let's see how diabolical this is. The children have to learn to obey what the missionary recommends. Who is the father of their soul? You must singularly insist on their total submission and obedience. Avoid developing the spirit in the schools. Teach students to read and not to reason. Right? Their dear patriots are some of the principles that you must apply. You will find many other books which will be given to you at the end of this conference. Evangelize the savages so that they stay forever in submission to the white colonists, so they never revolt against the restraints that they're undergoing. Recite every day, happy are those who are weeping, because the kingdom of God is for them. And this is what we teach in our churches today still. So now when they come here for you, they can't wait to get a W woman or a W man. They can't wait to get a job and be up under these people. They don't return back home. They are under the consciousness of this W man. These writings still exist today. It still permeates in the mind of a lot of our Democratic people and Republicans. When you see these black conservatives, hold on, because watch this, because it's going to get even more heavy. We're in the classroom today. When you see these black conservatives like the Byron Donalds, the Larry Elders, the Jesse Lee Petersons, these people, this is what this is. This is what this is. Evangelize the savages, that they stay forever in submission to the white colonists, so that they never revolt against the restraints that they're undergoing. Recite every day, happy are those who are weeping, because the kingdom of heaven is for them. Right? See, when we have this FBA talk, we have to be well studied on our story and what they've done. Because what's happening in the Congo during this time, they had already done this here. The Willie Lynch letter was supposed to be in the 1700s. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Convert always the blacks by using the whip. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Now, what I'm about to read to you, this passage that I'm about to read to you now, I want you guys to understand what the gender war is about, and the genesis of the gender war and what this gender war does, right? Hold on a second. Who's over here? Who in here clowning while I'm teaching? Who is this? Wait a minute. NBA young boy. I hope that you're not clowning while I'm teaching. We teaching. So if you clowning, I'm gonna get they're gonna get you up out of here. So let me say this. Let me say this to the family, right? Let me say this to the family. What I'm about to read to you is the aspect of this gender war and what they do to divide us and to keep us divided, and the way the systems are set in place. A lot of times you guys regurgitate talking points, but you don't understand where they come from. You don't understand why you're saying what you're saying. But I'm going to read and illustrate to you why your talking points are this way and why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, right? It says, convert always the blacks by using the whip. So now they're not using a physical whip anymore. They're using the system against you, right? Your ability to feed yourself. If you voice your opinion or if you rebel with your voice, now they just take your job away. They take away your livelihood. They create systems to put the woman over the man and the man under the woman, and keep the man underwork, where she no longer has faith in him anymore. They give her, put her in positions. They put her in positions now where she can undermine her man because he's not doing enough. They make the man feel inadequate and not enough, to the point where he does things to destroy himself. So now the whip is not a physical whip. It's the system that they use against you. Watch how diabolical this is. Watch this, Renaissance woman. Watch this, Renaissance woman. Don't argue with Chicago. Stay on point on what I'm showing you. I want you to get this, Renaissance, because this is important for the women. Listen to this. Forget these Chicago for a minute. Watch this, Renaissance. Convert always the blacks by using the whip. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. Make their women believe that they have to now go outside of their man to get the things that they need. So now we cause dissension and disrespect in the household. So now the man is only worthy for his penis. She doesn't come to him for nothing else. She goes to the W man in the system to get the things that she needs to cause dissension, because they know that if the man is the one that's supposed to be in leadership, hold on. If the man is the one that's supposed to be in leadership, but now you have to come to me and not your man. Now she's going to undermine and second guess her man, starting the genesis of a gender war. See, this stuff is not nothing new. Convert always the blacks by using the whip. Keep their women in 9 months of submission to work freely for us. Force them to pay you in a sign of recognition, goats, chickens, eggs, every time you visit their villages, and make sure that the savages never become rich. Some people will say, well, George, that's not true, because we got a lot of rich black people. No, they're not. What they're given is given to them under the system of the W man. And whenever they want to accuse you of something or bring you down, they take you down. And a lot of times, in order to get rich, you got to take that ride down Hollywood and Vine. You got to be a part of their system. That's the way they control you. It's a script. Make them pay tax every week in Sunday Mass. That's your tithes and offering. Make them pay tax every week in Sunday Mass. Use the money supposed for the poor to build flourishing business centers. Institute a confessional system which allows you to be good detectives denouncing any black that has a different consciousness contrary to that of the decision maker. That's your sellouts and coons. Teach the savages to forget their heroes and to adore only ours. That's how they get you to never celebrate your heroes. Never celebrate your black heroes, right? This is why, watch this, y'all. Watch this. See, this is why I have the image here. You can see me slaying Superman. They get Superman depicted as a form of a W man. Wonder Woman in the back. That's me slaying W supremacy in my mind, because I can't even move forward on understanding FBA or who I am or what it is that I need to be doing to disseminate messages to my people until I eradicate Superman out of my mind. So before I even came and showed you this, I've been on this. I've been teaching this. I had to eradicate Superman out of my mind. The man of steel, he had to be slayed. I had to slay Superman. I had to slay that W supremacy thought process in my mind, because they said, teach the savages. Teach the savages to forget their heroes and adore only ours. Do you know how damaging that is to the psyche of a young black boy, and why the bar is set so low for the black community? Why the expectations of young men is set so low? Because we went out of our way. We went out of our way to disrespect our own heroes and don't even acknowledge them. Don't even acknowledge them. Who was A. Philip Randolph, right? Who was Martin Delaney? Who was Henry Howard Garnett? Who was David Walker, right? All of our superheroes, huh? Who was Octavius Valentine Cato? And so many of them, so many of our fathers that fought in every war, that was on the front line to push the line forward for our people. They taught us to disrespect them and don't honor them. And honor them. So we've been planting the seeds in the wrong garden the whole time. That's why we've been reaping the harvest of death, destruction, despair, lack, low expectation. Because somebody will say, well, this was only for the people of Congo. No, this was a letter that was written, that was already of a practice that was already moving. And all they did was take that consciousness and practice and implement it there, but they had already done it to us during chattel slavery. And now we're trying to undo, and our people have been trying to undo since the time of Frederick Douglass, the time of a Martin Delaney, the time of a Harriet Tubman, all of those eras of Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, our whole historical timeline. We've been trying to undo this consciousness that's been set on us because it said, teach the savages to forget their heroes and to adore only ours. And you wonder why, to this day, we can't even get our people off that Democratic plantation. The metaphor for Christ when he was on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Our people are so pushed, so conditioned for so long, they don't even understand. It says, never present a chair to a black man that comes to visit you. Don't give him more than one cigarette. Never invite him for dinner if he gives you a chicken every time you arrive at his house, right? So it says convert, remember, convert always the blacks by using the whip. Keep their women in 9 months of suppression of submission. So now what happens is, for so many years, I fought on YouTube. Brother Taz exclusives. So many of us was online trying to get this, and we could never get this many people in the room to give you guys this information. And you don't understand how much this means to me, that I could have 800 people in the room and I can finally give this message to our people so that way we can start moving and understanding how to move. When you understand what they did to the African mind and what they did to us, because we're going to get to Cecil Rhodes. But before we get to Cecil Rhodes, right? Hold on for a second. Let me go back up real quick. Let me go back up. Let's do this part one more time. Your actions will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendation of the priest is contradictory to their parents' teachings. The children have to learn to obey what the missionary recommends. Who is the father of your soul? You must singularly insist on their total submission and obedience. And you wonder why our people can't get off them Democrat and Republican plantations. You ever wonder? You ever when you look and you see, hold on, evangelize the savages so that they will stay forever in submission to the white colonists, so they never revolt against the restraints they're undergoing. Recite every time, happy are those who are weeping, because the kingdom of God is in them, right? My brother Taz, if you watching, get back to this. The audience is here, brother. They here. If you watching, get back to teaching this. The audience is here. We got the audience. You see the people here. They ready for it. They ready for it. Let me say this, right? When you see those black conservatives and they agree with everything the W man say, that's because they know that they have to. They have to be on board with that. If not, they won't crack that whip. And the cracking the whip is using the system against them. When you see these Democrats, they have to be with these Democrats, these Democrats and Republicans, these Democrats. They have to be a part of that system because they've been conditioned to not think for themselves. Remember, it says they have to be in total submission to them. They said it says you have to detach them from and make them disrespect everything which gives them the courage to affront us. Do you understand what that means? You have to detach them from anything that they will use as a mechanism to fight against it. You have to detach them from it. And you wonder why you can't get our people out in plantation. You wonder why your own people will fight you tooth and nail when they see that you're trying to make a change, even though they ask for the change themselves. Now let's go over here because I want y'all to hear this, and then we're going to get into Cecil Rhodes real quick. We in the classroom today. We cooking today.
Yeah, because like people like are trying to vote for like presidency and things like that, and we all expect for the president to like see what is going on in the society and say, okay, like we hope for you to like make this change, and like they'll put like their stuff out there saying, oh, I will address this, and then when they come into presidency, it's like the exact opposite of like
Yes, because you corrupted them.
Who corrupted them?
The masses. No African leader is corrupt.
That just makes.
Now, I want y'all to listen, right? I want y'all to listen. Put your thinking caps on. Listen to what he's saying. And he's going to break down the mentality, but I'm going to expose him at the end of this.
You're going to have to elaborate on that.
They are corrupted.
So how we corrupt, like the people corrupted the, like what do you mean by corrupt?
Watch this, y'all.
So when computers started, right? When we had computers in high towers, you know that computer has a program in it. And so you have to only introduce what it can use the program to understand, right? So when
I want y'all to pay attention so that way we can get an outstanding understanding for the mindset of the African when they come here and they encounter us. Watch this.
People use malware to introduce your hard drive. What do you say happened to your hard drive? My hard drive is corrupted, which means you gave it something to do that is not part of what he knows how to do. Colonials left behind a political system and you hang on to it. And then you're picking one of you to use it to do something. You said that's what you wanted. You said every 4 years you want to go out there and pick one of you to lead you. So somebody said, okay, pick me. Look at my suit. It's nice. And I speak your language. And you picked them. You've introduced a tax to this man or woman who you don't know if he knows he doesn't own a country. We just proving to you there is no country. But you're asking him to lead something that is not there. If you give your Lamborghini to your 7-year-old, you've corrupted his skill. He runs into people or he runs into a tree. The people you've been thinking since independence don't know how to do what you're asking them to do. So you corrupt their skills.
So we've you say.
So let's unpack. Let's unpack that because he can talk to them. They may not be intelligent enough to understand what this. So basically, what he's saying is this: these Sanchez, I just gave you a wrench. I don't know why you ain't had no wrench as coming in. I get what you're saying, D Chicago, but you're doing so much talking. You're not even watching what I'm doing. You commenting too much. Just sit and watch the show, bro. Let me do the show. All I'm saying is you distracting the people. You making it more about you instead of respecting what I'm doing. Right? I'm doing the show and you just constantly comment. Just relax. That's all I'm asking you to do. These people, based off the colonial system that the Europeans established when they left, you tried to hold on to that colonial establishment and you failed miserably because you don't know how to do it, right? And he said that these leaders are not corrupt, the people corrupt them. But what he's not to be educated. Hold on some more.
Us Nigerians have corrupted the presidents or something like that.
Yes, you are just a corrupt in waiting. They make any of you MP right now, you'll be corrupt because what they're asking you to work on is not natural to you. It's
so now I'm going to unpack that. What he's saying is this. What Frank Zanu is saying is you took on the colonizers' culture and way of thinking and teachings, and you'll never be able to build Africa because what you're trying to do is not natural for you. Right, but I'm gonna expose him as the hypocrite he is. Watch this. Let's listen to some more, but we're gonna expose him. Hey, as you can see over here at the top of my screen here, that's my Urban Nerds. If you guys want to donate, you guys can donate to Urban Nerds. We teaching here, man. We building. I'm in the classroom. I'm in my Urban Nerds bag right now. Y'all see, I got my embroidered. Y'all see before as we proceed, y'all see I got my embroidered Urban Nerds hoodie on. Right, we in our bag. Right, y'all want to donate? You can donate to Venmo, PayPal, or the Cash App. Make sure y'all supporting because we raising money right now to get the bus. I'm taking the kids back to DC to the African American Smithsonian Museum. We go every year. We're trying to get a date, but right now we're raising money for the bus. So while we're building here, teaching today, you guys want to donate? You guys can donate through PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. It's right there. Let's get back to the teachers.
Foreign. The villages were.
So what they're asking you to work on is not natural to you, as foreign, because you're trying to do it to you. Hold on. Because
I was 12. By who you are, what you can do. And that's how we picked our leaders in Africa for hundreds of years.
Okay, so are you saying that if we implemented a system so in Ghana, in my culture, the way like picking a chief works is there are 5 royal families and then it rotates each family every time. Are you saying that if that happened with like our government?
How can it happen with your government?
Well,
you don't have Ghana. You don't have a country called Ghana or Ghanaians. So whom are you picking?
You heard what he just said? He said there is no country of Ghana. Now listen to what he's saying. We FBA, we're studying the playbook. Listen to what he's saying.
That just makes no sense.
So is the political system the issue? Like,
I don't know. I'm giving.
Watch what he say. And this is why delineation is important, and we can't allow them to say that we're being divisive. Watch what he tell his people. Oh, excuse me, they're not his people based off of Frank's teaching. Listen to this.
You things for you to make your own conclusion.
There's no Ghana.
There's no Ghana, there's no Nigeria. Who is a Nigerian? You are a Nigerian only when you leave the country and you are abroad. You said, I'm from Nigeria. But when you ask a Chinese, they don't say, I'm from China. They say, I'm Chinese. Japanese will say, I'm Japanese. Ask Africans, they always say, I'm from. It means you're talking about a physical location that was created by some foreigner, and a bunch of you who have nothing in common lives there. Okay. But in Nigeria.
You know what's funny? They come here and try to tell us we have no culture, where their countries were created, amalgamation of tribes ran out from different places, right? And then was carved, and then those places, those geographical lines was carved into Africa. Listen, we have a longer lineage. You don't have a Ghana. Hold on. Right? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. He hold on. Damn. People without the African too. We want to all come in a bit more.
So we're not like we're just not Ghanaian. We're just like you're Akan, you're Ghana.
That's correct. You know, and it's a metaphor. I love it. I read it. You know the Tower of Babel in the Bible? What was it?
Hold on. Right? White and then was carved. Hold on, because I gotta talk this part because I don't have it the way I want to have it. What he's saying is you're not African. What he's telling them is you're not African. You're just a Khan. You just Ashanti. You just Ga, Iwe. You just these different people, and they don't see themselves as the same group. But at the same time, they want to come here and say that we all brothers and we all get along as it benefits them. These are the things that he's trying to tell them and why they can't build. But I'm going to tell you what makes him a hypocrite. What makes him a hypocrite is the same standard that he's trying to hold these Africans to and not being able to build. He left his own people, came to the European, got educated, right? Because he remember what he said. He said, you can't do anything because you abandon your culture. You're working with something that's foreign to you that's never going to work. But while he's saying that, he abandoned his own people, came to America, lived in Connecticut, educated, right? Got educated, right? And now he's telling other young youth Africans that they can't do anything because you trying to cling on to the W man's culture. While at the same time, in America, under the W man's culture, do you see the hypocrisy of the way that they think? This is what King Leopold's letter and people like Frank Lagarde and them has done to the mind and the psyche of these Africans, right? Y'all don't believe me? Let's go over here real quick. Let's go here. Let's get the Frederick Lagarde, the British colonial administrator who amalgamated Nigeria in 1914, held deeply prejudiced, paternalistic views describing African as children needing guidance. He characterized them as happy, thriftless, excitable, and lacking discipline or foresight, while also acknowledging them as courageous and polite. Lagarde viewed them as incapable of self-rule, justifying his indirect rule system. Paternalistic stereotypes, the dual mandate in British tropical Africa. He described the typical African as having the virtues and defects of attractive children. Perceived lacks. He believed West Africans lack the ability to analyze the past to make decisions about the future. Labeled them as having little sense of veracity, intellectual subordination. He argued that the bravery of natives was due to moral fortitude, but not animal instinct, right? divide and rule strategy. Lagarde often used derogatory stereotypes to justify different administrative approaches, such as labeling specific groups as defiant, rebellious, or greedy. Indirect rule. He believed that because of these perceived traits, the British needed to govern through traditional existing power structures. Traditional existing power structures, rather than direct European administration, right? Hold on a second. Specific comments about the Nigerian groups in 1918. In a letter in 1918 letter to W.H. Lang, Lagarde wrote demanding stereotypical and sweeping assessments of the main ethnic groups of Nigeria. Hausa Fulani. He described them as having no ideas, no ambitions, such as essential in character, labeling them as fatalists, spendthrift, and a gambler who are gravely immoral and is seriously diseased. Wow. The Yorubas, he called the people of Lagos and Western Nigeria the lowest, the most insidious and loyal, the most purely prompted by self-seeking money motives of any people I've met. The Igbo, he described them as fiercely rebellious, with no regard for authority, and while industrious, highly dangerous to be trusted with power. Right, so he had some fear. He had some fear of the Igbo people. Right, Lagarde despised educated Nigerians, particularly in the South, often regarding them as insidious and trying to undermine their influence in the favor of traditional rulers. Right, so we already coming when we're seeing the mindset of them and what they did to the mind of the Africans. Now, mind you, we was already dealing with our own stuff here. So while we dealing with cleaning up our own subjugation and our own mindset of what they did to us, how are we going to take on another group that's coming here worse off than us? Worse off than us, right? But let's look at what Cecil Rhodes. Let's look at what Cecil Rhodes thought of the South Africans, right? Let's look at what Cecil Rhodes thought of the South Africans. Cecil Rhodes, 1853 to 1902, was a British imperialist and prime minister of Cape Colony. He held deep-seated white supremacist views that directly shaped discriminatory practices in South Africa, right? His ideology was rooted in the belief that the Anglo-Saxon race was the supreme, the first race in the world. His remarks and policies towards South Africans often characterized Black Africans as a subordinate group. Key examples of his rhetoric included referring to Black Africans as a subject race and children, advocating make sure we ain't dropping. Make sure we stay. Y'all got to stay and get this. This is important, right? Make sure the numbers go up. Make sure y'all sharing this stuff out. This is good FBA content so we can understand the mindset of the people that we're encountering. It's Black History Month. I don't want to get up here and just scream and holler and hoop and holler and say feel good stuff. No, I want to teach, right? Advocating for segregation and arguing that the natives are children. They are just emerging from barbarism. Describing the Black population as being largely in the state of barbarism. Now, why is this important? Why is this important? Because, let me do this. This is important because when you hear them say that the only reason why we have achieved the things we have achieved because we've had close proximity to white culture, because they've been under this foot for so long that they start to believe this. So they start to lose sight of their accomplishments and things that they've done, of things that they haven't done, right? And what Frank Zanu said, you cause corruption of your own leadership because you put people in positions that don't deserve to be there, right? So now when they encounter you, they don't think that you're capable of doing things because they don't think that they're capable of doing it either without going to Europe, France, England, right? all throughout Europe, Switzerland, and all these places. They go to all those Scandinavian countries. You find Africans in all those places, and they don't. And they run as soon as they run there to put their nose in the middle of some W cooch or the Pink Panther in their womb because they lost all faith in themselves. So now, when you're having a conversation, they don't believe that you achieved anything. This is why this teaching is so important. So you understand what you're up against. So they talk about this coalition. What coalition? How can you have a coalition with people that don't even believe that you're able to do the things that you're trying to tell them? Stating if the whites maintain their positions as the supreme race, the day may come when we shall be thankful. We should be thankful that we have the natives with us in their proper positions. Now I want to show y'all something real quick. Henry McNeil Turner. I want to show y'all something real quick. Let me see. Hopefully I can find this thing. Hopefully I can find this. I want y'all to see something. What Henry McNeil Turner said, right? Hopefully I can find it. Hopefully I can find it. No, this ain't it. No, that's the PDF. That's not it. I want y'all to see just what we was up against, right? Hold on. In 18. He provoked racism when he advocated wholesale for us to move to achieve dignity and manhood. See, some stuff they take out, but I want y'all to see this because I want y'all to see what Henry McNeil Turner said in regard. Wait a minute. I think I found it. Hold on. Stay still for a minute. Therefore, sir. Wait a minute. That man bar and that to charge him responsible head and carry upon the shoulders. The Anglo-Saxon race is the most surprising one. No man. Henry McNeil Turner said that that he was thankful for slavery and that we came here and was able to mix in with this powerful Anglo-Saxon race. This is what Henry McNeil Turner said, right? And we was dealing with that in America. So just imagine the mindset. I'm trying to find this thing. I'm mad that I'm trying to find it on the fly. Oh, wait a minute. I think I got it, y'all. Turner regard. Oh, I got it. Watch this, y'all. Watch this. Thank you. Thank you, Most High, for allowing me to get this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this because the numbers is dropping, but that's fine. Now, I want y'all to see what we was dealing with here in America. Henry McNeil Turner, a bishop, he was freeborn in South Carolina. Turner was a gifted speaker and largely educated. In 1848, he joined the Methodist Episcopal Church, and 5 years later was licensed as the lay exhorter to travel throughout the South, preaching and evangelizing. In 1858, he joined the African Methodist Church AME Church, and the following year was assigned to the AME mission in Baltimore. Which now I want y'all to listen to this because this is important. Which enabled him to enroll in Trinity College for Divinity Studies. His first formal education, he was ordained as a deacon in 1860 and an elder 2 years later. During the Civil War, he helped recruit blacks as the Union troops and was commissioned the first Black Army chaplain. Following the war, he was sent to Georgia as a member of the Reconstruction forces, right? But was reassigned to recruit members for the AME Church in the state. He held a series of political offices in Georgia in 1876, became director of the AME Publishing House in Philadelphia. 4 years later, he was elected bishop in Georgia. Listen. Watch this. Watch how diabolical this is. Before I read this, I got to show my face. Wow, we got to be real careful where you have the ultimate Sambos and coons. I'm going to show you guys something that you probably never seen before. And some of the godfathers of coons. Watch this. Watch this on this Black History Month. Turner regarded slavery as part of a divine plan to bring Africans to America in order for them, in his words, to come in contact with Christian civilization and by intercourse with the powerful white race, fit themselves to go back to their own land and make that land what the whites had made of Europe and of America. He contributed that Africa missions by finding the voice of missions in 1892, promoting immigration of American blacks to Africa and traveling there on 4 occasions, right? He believed that slavery was part of God's divine plan for us to come in contact with Christian civilization and by intercourse with the powerful W race, fit themselves to go back to their land and to make that land what the whites had produced in Europe. We had already had our own ingrained, homegrown Uncle Ruckuses. They was teaching this. Your Democrats don't teach you this. They won't mention the Henry McNeil Turner and when he said this part. So now they had already ingrained this in the mindset of us. So then when you get to the King Leopold's letter, they was implementing what was already done to the minds of the Negro here in the hells of North America and what we was fighting against. They was implementing this in Africa on the minds of the people because the first Sambos was telling you that these people were like gods. That's why you see me doing this. I'm unaliving the Superman in my mind before I can even come out to talk and teach to the people, before I can even understand who I am and what I'm up against. I have to first unalive Superman in my mind. I must first unalive their superheroes that's in my mind. I must first detach myself from their teachings and their superheroes to reattach myself to my people or who I am so I can fully understand what FBA is about. Because you got FBAs here telling you that that slavery was a divine plan. He was evangelizing. Didn't he say, go teach the people in King Leopold's letter to evangelize things that would be in your favor? Well, they got some people that look like you in America to go evangelize to our people to tell us that Superman was divine and he was a powerful race. And when you allow them in your womb, when you allow them to mix, see what I'm saying? Y'all don't believe me? Watch this. Y'all still don't believe me? Watch this. Madison Grant's racist quote. Watch this. Because see, some people still think it's a game. But we ain't playing. Watch this. Watch this. This is Madison Grant. He wrote the book, The Rising of the Great Race, right? The intelligence and ability of a colored person are in pretty direct proportion to the amount of white blood he has. And most of the positions of leadership, influence, and prominence in the Negro race are held by real Negroes, are not held by real Negroes, but by mulattoes. I'm going to read that again for the people in the back that's slow. So now when we talk this FBA talk, why you have these Sambos and sellouts. The intelligence and ability of a colored person are in pretty direct proportion to the amount of white blood he has. And most of the positions of leadership, influence, and prominence in the Negro race are held not by real Negroes, but by mulattoes, many of whom have very little Negro blood. Y'all think it's a game, man. Y'all play too much. Y'all think everything is funny and everything is a game. I'm telling you what we got, what's going on, what we got going up against us. So you got Henry McNeil Turner saying, Turner regarded slavery as a part of a divine plan to bring Africans to America in order for them, in his words, to come in contact with Christian civilization and by intercourse with the powerful W race, fit themselves to go back to their own land and make that land what the white man had made made of Europe and of America. and then you get to King Leopold's letter. When you transpose it all together, and you go back up to the top, it says they speak and submit to Mungu, Nzambi, and what else? They know not to kill, they know not to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie and insult is bad. Have the courage to admit you are not going to teach them what they already know. Your essential role is to facilitate the tasks of administrators and industrials, which means you will go to interpret the gospel in the way it will be best to protect your interests. So the same thing they did to Henry McNeil Turner and what they did to us is the same thing that they was doing in Africa. So now while we're coming out of this consciousness and thought process, right, these people are coming over here fresh with those same thoughts. And you think that you're going to have some type of unification with them when they don't even believe your story about the things you invented. They don't even believe it. They don't even believe it. Why is Cecil Rhodes such a controversial figure? Cecil Rhodes, hold on, here we go. Rhodes was an imperialist businessman and politician who played a dominant role in Southern Africa in the late 19th century, driving the annexation of vast swaths of land. He founded the De Beers Diamond Firm, which recently controlled the global trade. Scholarships allowing overseas students to come to Oxford University still bear his name. Many institutions, including Cape Town University itself, benefited from his legacies. Both Southern Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, and Northern Rhodesia, now Zambia, was named after him. But in 2002, when the BBC conducted a poll on the 100 greatest Britons, Rhodes failed to make the list. That was despite it being the century of his death, right? So then you get to this man, Cecil Rhodes. When you get to these people. Those who want the statue removed object to Rhodes as the ultimate representation of colonialism. I can't say that name. Executive Director of South Africa's Central Conflict Resolution and a former Rhodes Scholar has said the demands to remove the statue appear to be metaphorical call for the transformation of the university's curriculum, culture, and facility, which many Blacks feel are alienating and still reflecting the Eurocentric heritage, right? So let's get down here to what his thought and consciousness was, right? The way that he thought. Hold on. It's clear that Rhodes thought of the English as a master race. I contend that we are the first race in the world, and that the more of the world we inhabit, the better it is for the human race, he once said. His famous desire was to be able to draw a red line from Cairo to Cape Town, building a railroad across the entire continent of Africa without ever leaving British territory. Rhodes wanted to create an international movement to extend British influence. Why should we not form a secret society with but one object? He once said, the furtherance of the British Empire and the bringing of the whole world under British rule, for the recovery of the United States, for making the Anglo-Saxon race but one empire. So what they was doing in America, they was also doing there. His supporters saw him as having brought political and physical infrastructure to South Africa, but the critics now point out to his time as prime minister of the Cape Colony from 1890 to 1896, when his government effectively restricted the rights of Black Africans from rising the financial and qualifications for voting, right? So they was already getting their teeth kicked in, right? And they come here and they don't believe, because I don't have to read all this, right? I don't have to get into all this, right? They come here. I just got one more thing I gotta read, and then we gotta at the 2 hour mark. So right, so everybody stay still, right? So that's him, right? But then you get the P.W. Botha, right? Let's look at what they was doing, right? P.W. Botha, which was president of South Africa, right? Right? We do not pretend like other whites that we like blacks. The fact that blacks look like human beings and act like human beings do not necessarily make them sensible human beings. Hedgehogs are not porcupines and lizards are not crocodiles, simply because they look alike. If God wanted us to be equal to blacks, he would have created us all. He would have created us all of a uniform color and intellect. But he created us to the blacks. He created us differently. Whites, blacks, yellows, rulers, and the rule. Intellectually, we are superior to blacks. That has been proven beyond any reasonable doubt over the years. I believe that the Afrikaner is an honest, God-fearing person. Now watch this. When you hear him talking like that, ain't that's how these MAGA people talk? And they do it under the guise of being a Christian. They do it under the guise of God-fearing. So now we're fighting against that. But these groups coming here, they telling us the only reason why we achieved anything because we've been under the W man. That's what they telling us. Because we've been under the W man, right? I believe that the Afrikaner is honest, a God-fearing person who has demonstrated particularly the right way of being. Nonetheless, it is comforting to know that behind the scenes, Europe, America, Canada, Australia, and all others are behind us in spite of what they say. It is our strong conviction, therefore, that the black is the raw material for the white man. Listen, the black is the raw material for the white man. Did you hear what I said when I gave y'all what Henry McNeil Turner said about us? So this is a global way of thinking, a global way. Foundational Black Americans, we recognize this. We're fighting against this. We're fighting to separate ourselves from this, right? And there is a creature, and here is a creature that lacks foresight. The average black does not plan his life beyond a year. By now, every one of us has seen it, particularly that blacks cannot rule themselves, right? Give them guns and they will kill each other. They are good for nothing else but making noise, dancing, marrying many wives, and indulging in sex. Let us not accept that the black man is the symbol of poverty, mental inferiority, laziness, and emotional incompetence. Isn't it plausible, therefore, that the white man is created to rule the black man? Come to think of what would happen one day if you woke up on the throne and basically said this was a black country. Ain't this what you hear a lot of these black conservatives say? Ain't this what you hear people like Myron Gaines and them say? So I have to read this stuff to you guys so that way you can understand the talking points and where this stuff is coming from and why they're saying the things that they're saying. We got to go over this stuff, right? It's important, right? Hold on a second. Right? It's important.
Country is.
Hold on. So when you hear them talk,
continue, you're asking for unity?
So you're saying because the continent of Africa is not unified, then we can't have a global unification of the black diaspora?
What are you unified around?
That's something we could build. What is the purpose of Pan-Africanism if you're saying that unity is impossible?
But you said it as if I believe in Pan-Africanism. It's the most stupid, bogus thing anybody to even say.
But you spoke about worldview earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if our worldview was to uplift each other?
Whose worldview?
Black people.
Which black people?
Oh, man. Now listen. Now you hear Frank talk, right? You hear Frank talk. This is the thing, right? In our last clip. Y'all hear Frank talk. But did you hear what the W man said? Now they're unified in their way of thinking and they're unified in their teachings, right? We're not unified. So when we start talking about the unification, what happens is we can't unify with them because they are still under the imperialist way of thinking, right? they're still moving and operating that way, right? I'm gonna let y'all hear some of this real quick.
Of the black diaspora.
What are you unified around?
That's something we could build. What is the purpose of Pan-Africanism if you're saying that unity is impossible?
Well, you said it as if I believe in Pan-Africanism. It's the most stupid, bogus thing anybody to even say.
But you spoke about worldview earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if our worldview was to uplift each other?
Whose worldview?
Black people.
Which black people?
All black people.
No, there is no such thing. You can't go to Asia and say all Asian people.
But why not?
I am telling you, this is the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
We are the only ones who walk the earth, and as soon as we see a black person at the airport, oh, brother. No, I'm not your brother.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Have you gone to Europe and you had an Italian man calling a German brother?
Fuck them. What's wrong with me seeing you at the airport?
This is the problem.
You got to explain it to me then.
Okay.
I don't get it.
Let me ask you. Let me tell you something. The story of Chaka the Zulu.
Mm-hmm. Chaka Zulu.
What was he famous for before they killed him? Tormenting fellow black tribes in that region.
Okay.
So that's the man you're going to unite with?
No.
Okay. I'm just telling you. We think that skin color makes you and me the same. We're not. I am from a small tribe called the Ajak tribe in Benin. Benin is only 6.5 million people with over 40 tribes. When I say tribe, I mean the language is like French and Chinese. I don't have anything in common with the 49 other people in my country. Nothing in common. They speak a different language. They have a different God, a different religion, different food, different forms of wear and culture, traditions and customs. We were forced, carved and say, remain here. He's not my brother. Now you're asking for a global brotherhood of all black people. Why would the black people be different from any continent? Europe is a global community of white people, but they don't go around saying brother and sister. Asia is a community of all yellow Asians in Asia. They don't go around calling each other brother and sister. Same with the Middle East, same with everywhere. Where only when it comes to black people you think we are all the same. We're not the same. If the African Americans who came here had been able to trace their tribes, their country, that kind of thing, you wouldn't look at me and say, I'm a brother. No.
I'm telling you, without that information, I want to call you a brother.
Oh, no, I totally admire it.
Yeah.
I admire it because I know it's a very endearing word that African Americans use here to show that we are in a struggle together. Okay, I understand that
we're unified to build together. So I think you're looking.
Okay, so that is what he was saying. Right. He said something was interesting, that I educate for a reason. I do.
Yeah.
I also uneducate. Meaning there are certain promises we are being given. It's just diverting us, and it's not going to happen.
So let me unpack what he said. There. This is important and it's dangerous, right? Now we can learn because they're not practicing Pan-Africanism. We know that they're not practicing Pan-Africanism. But another thing too, instead of him unifying with other, listen to this is important, y'all. I want y'all to listen. Instead of him unifying with other blacks, he'd rather come here and be under the foot in the education of the European. He'd rather go to the Asian and all other groups instead of being unified. See, in P.W. Balter's letter, he said he know that Europe is behind them, America's behind them, Australia is behind them. He named all the places where he know that no matter what wars they have a unification of keeping the darker races where the raw materials are. He's even said that the black man is a raw material. That's what P.W. Balter said about the black man, right? So now what he's saying is, you ain't my brother, because he's going with the division on what was taught to them by their culture and what the European did. He's educated, but he's not educated enough to understand where he studied the European and how their unification is what got them running the world globally. He come here and say, you ain't my brother, but at the same time, he's been educated in the Europeans' schools. He's been educated under the European while talking to a group of black boys that's trying to endear themselves to him and say that they ain't his brother. That's how dangerous that is. And this is why you can't unify with them, because they believe what P.W. Balter said. They believe what Cecil Rhodes said. They believe what King Leopold said. They believe what Frederick Lugard said. They believe this. This is their way of thinking. This is their teaching. Because with everything that happened to them in their country, they can come here and look at some Black Americans in the face and say that you ain't my brother. We understand that we are of a different tribe. But how come the Europeans can be under a different tribe but still come together to kick the African in the ass? But yet and still, this African would come here, as educated as he claimed to be, sit his behind down in the seat and tell these young FBA brothers that they ain't his brother, knowing the colonization and what colonization did to Africa, the reason why he's in America in the first place. I'll tell you why. Everybody come up and listen to Uncle George. Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you why he does that. He does that because he has no faith in Black people. His love is for the European. He doesn't believe that the black foundational Black American and the African are capable of doing anything. We should be under the foot. The same way Henry McNeil Turner said that he thought that slavery was the divine calling from God for us to become here to be under Christians. That was an FBA American that said that. Now you have this African. So I'm showing you in this demonstration that I did today, I'm showing you the global reach that these writings have had on the psyche of the Black man globally. Globally. It's a global way of thinking. And now when you have young people starting to wake up and wanting to do better and do for themselves and name themselves, you have to now arm yourself with education and understanding the way that this W man thinks. So now we can actually strike back and we can know how to fight back. We can know how to teach. See, in these spaces right now, you have a lot of FBA channels. And you got my brother Black Alpha, Afro Elite, what's the young guy, CEO, something CEO. You got that young brother, man. I watch him at times. You got Tariq. You got Professor Black Truth. You got, hold on for a second. Let me get him out of here, man. No, I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this. Please stop deceiving our beautiful Black brothers and sisters in the U.S. We are one people, and there is nothing in the universe that's stopping unity. And see, this is what I'm saying. Now, you know what? I was going to block you, but I'm not. Watch this. I'm going to deal with you for a minute, and I'm going to deal with the disingenuous part. I'm going to deal with that for a second. And this is why some of y'all don't get respected, because this is the thing. Whatever D mode, we always had our arms open for unity. I'm sitting here saying this ain't for every. You know what's funny in this demonstration? All the people that's watching me now, did I show what the European did to the mindset of us in America as well, not just Africa? Everybody put a yes or no in the chat. Did I show in the King Leopold's letter and all these letters what the European did to us? And then I showed you Henry McNeil Turner and what the European did to us mentally here in America before Africa. Did I show that? Yes or no? Did I show that? Right? I'm going to show you how some of y'all are stupid and you prove the white man right, because you have your intellectual ability to actually comprehend is off. I showed globally what they've done to our mindset. And when we already struggling to wake our own people up, when we encounter you, when you come here with your tribalistic way of thinking, see, because if you're honest and you really say you love Black people and you love Black Americans, you say you love me, then you would come and say, you know what, George, we have a tribal problem in Africa, and we're trying to figure that out the same way you guys are trying to figure it out. No, you come here and you tell me that I'm deceiving the people. Right? You come here, you tell me that, and you're not even telling the truth. You're not even being honorable to your own people enough to love them, enough to tell the truth about what's happening. You're not even loving us enough to come and just be honest. What I just did was show an honest demonstration of what's happening to us here, what they doing there. I didn't just pick on Africans. I showed what they doing to us here and how it started here and what they doing over there to you guys. I'm showing this. I'm showing this, but yet and still, you stinking, non-deodorant, crusty feet ass African, you come over here and you're disrespectful. You don't want to unify. And I'm talking to all Africans. I'm talking to you. You're disrespectful. You're disrespectful because you're sitting here in this and then you type this, and I'm tired of y'all with that. Go over to your people and keep treating your women wrong and discriminating against other tribal groups. Don't bring that shit here to America amongst us because you are a bad person. You're not a good person. And we don't want the bad Africans around us. We got enough problems amongst ourselves. Stay over there amongst your people. Because when you come over here with dishonesty, I'm tired of y'all with that. You ain't back home. You ain't struggling and striving to stop scamming. You're coming over here scamming. You're coming into our places scamming, knowing damn well that y'all don't have unity. So don't talk that unity stuff amongst us until you unify your own people. But I just had to deal with that real fast. They come in here with that stupid stuff. This whole live stream was not picking on Africans. It was showing you the mindset of us and Africans, and then when they come here and we have to encounter each other. So I'm showing you what Matt Nuclear said. Remember, let's in case you forgot. Let's go back to what he said before we get out of here. I'm over 2 hours, right? So I got to cook dinner. I got to feed the house. So let's go back to what he said. Let's revisit this real quick. Having with this Angolan tether.
I have a lot of respect, actually.
You can't undermine us, sir, because you have fled from your homeland. You are a de facto refugee, so you can't undermine us. You don't have the power or the clout to undermine.
But let me ask you a question: who came here in more dignity? So I came here when I was 6 years old, right? My family, my ancestors specifically, they weren't brought here on a ship. They weren't told when to eat. They weren't thrown overboard. I came here with dignity. I came here with respect. You guys.
Slow down. Let me slow down.
Now, this is an African. Now, with everything I showed you, we're coming after people, the Africans that talk like this. Not every African. There's a lot of Africans that are very, very good people, very loving people. With all that stuff that them W folks said in those writings about Africans, that's not all Africans. Screw P.W. Baltic, Cecil Rose, may they burn in hell. Frank Lagarde, don't nobody care nothing about them. We know that that's not. There's a lot of Africans that are very good people. We talking about Africans that talk like this because they believe what Frank Lagarde said. They believe what Cecil Rose said about them. That's why they ingratiate themselves into the W man's culture.
Dignity.
So is crapping on the street in your homeland dignifying?
That's what you would be doing if it wasn't for the white Europeans.
No, ain't no woulda, coulda, shoulda. We don't.
Now stop right there. He said he.
That's what you would be doing if it wasn't for the white Europeans. That's what you would be doing if it wasn't for the white Europeans.
No.
That's what you would be doing if it wasn't for the white Europeans.
No.
That's what you would be doing if it wasn't for the white Europeans.
No.
That's what you would be doing if it wasn't for the white Europeans.
No, ain't no woulda, coulda.
That's an African doing that. That's an African doing that. That's an African saying that. We got a problem with those Africans. But to be fair, we also got a problem with foundational Black Americans that talk like this. Turner regarded slavery as part of a divine plan to bring Africans to America in order for them, in his words, to come in contact with Christian civilization and by intercourse with the powerful W race, fit them to go back to their own land and make that land what the W man had made in Europe and in America. We got a problem with them too. See, I'm showing both aspects. So I need y'all to stop listen, some of y'all, not all, some of y'all that come in here to act real stupid, stop proving the white man right like you lost your ability to listen and reason. Some of y'all act like you stupid, like you can't even comprehend. You prove Cecil Rose right. You prove P.W. Balter right. P.W. Balter said, hold on. P.W. I believe the Afrikaner is an honest, God-fearing person who has demonstrated particularly the right way of being. Nevertheless, it is comforting to know that behind the scenes, Europe, America, Canada, and Australia, and all others are behind us in spite of what they say. It is our strong conviction, therefore, that the black is the raw material for the white man. That's what they say, right? And here is a creature that lacks foresight. The average black does not know to plan his life beyond a year. So stop coming in here, making stupid comments on my thing, proving him right. Come in the room and sit down and listen while I'm teaching. Because I ain't teaching for hate and division. I'm teaching that we have our own culture here in America. It said it is our strong convictions, therefore, wait a minute. By now, every one of us has seen, and particularly that blacks cannot rule themselves. So let me share as we get ready to get out of here. So, come in. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We get the trolls in here. Hold on for a second. Let me get you up out of here too. On. So let me see this. Let me see this. Let me say this. Here in America, we built the roads. We built the railroads. We created, hold on. And the Black Americans, wait a minute, hold on. Black Americans and the industrial revolutions. Hold on. Let me show y'all something. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me do it this way. Watch this, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all one more thing before we get out of here. I'm gonna show y'all one more thing before we get up on out of here. One more thing. Hold on. One more thing. Where is it at? Here, but I think it's right here. Watch this. Ah, shoot. Hold on. Damn. No, why go back up to the top? Hold on. I think it's here. I'm trying to find this thing that I did. Okay, here we go. I got it. Here we go, right here. Let me share one more time before we get up out of here. Before we get up out the classroom. Enslaved labor fueled the cotton industry, the backbone. So when you go here, the first industrial revolution in America began around 1790 to 1793 with the introduction of textile machinery and generally concluded between 1840 and 1870, making the shift from agrarianism to early industrialization. It was characterized by water-powered mills, the cotton gin, and the. I'm doing this because a lot of Africans don't understand that we built America. We were the ones that built America. Now, y'all might not have built y'all countries, or y'all might not have the knowledge on how to do anything in y'all country, but don't put that stigma on us. We ain't got nothing to do with that. We're trying to fight our way out of that lying consciousness. Expansion of early factories. Commonly cited in 1790 when Samuel Slater opened the first textile mill in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, right? So now we start putting in work. The War of 1812 encouraged domestic manufacturing, while innovations like the cotton gin, Eli Whitney, fueled the textile energy, fueled the textile industry, right? Then we go over here. Let's move over. Enslaved and free black labor was foundational to the first industrial revolution in America, driving the economy through massive agricultural production, infrastructure development, and early industrial work. Enslaved people produced the cotton, rice, sugar, and tobacco that powered capitalism, while also building roads, railways, and cities, contributing significantly to the nation's early infrastructure and economy expansion. Commonly enslaved labor fueled the cotton industry, the backbone of early American industrial capitalism, with population increasing 400% between 1800 to 1860. Infrastructure construction. Enslaved people built the nation's early infrastructure, including early factories, railways, and public buildings. Skilled labor trades. In the early 19th century, black labor played a significant role in specialized trade such as caulking ships. Industrial support. Enslaved and free black workers were involved in the early manufacturing, such as crafting tools and providing labor for machinery. Despite these contributions, black laborers were excluded from many benefits of the emerging industrial economy, often facing severe exploitation, violence, and following emancipation, systematic exclusion from many industrial jobs, right? Then we move over. Enslaved black men, and free individuals were fundamental to the construction of America's railroads networks during the first industrial revolution and throughout the antebellum period. They built, maintained, and operated a vast majority of railroad lines east of the Mississippi River and south of the Mason-Dixon line before the Civil War. Slave labor in 1860, nearly all Southern railroads constructed were performed by enslaved labor. Railroad companies often rented or purchased enslaved people specifically for this backbreaking work. Dangerous work. Enslaved workers used rudimentary tools, including axes, picks, shovels, and black powder to clear the land, move earth, and lay tracks. Infrastructure impact. This labor was crucial to the development of early transportation hubs, including the lines that allowed Atlanta to become a major commercial center. This is us. So they say immigrants built it. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Post-Civil War expansion, Midwest to West. Freemen and railroads following the Civil War, many newly freed slaves and free black individuals sought employment on railroads as an alternative to sharecropping, with thousands aiding in the construction of the Union Pacific and Midwest. They keep saying while the Chinese workers predominated in the West, Black Americans play a significant role in building towns, cities, and infrastructure in the West, including on railroad teams, right? Mind you, there was only 200 and something thousand Asians here, but it was like 12 million of us. So no, we was the ones in the mix. Job roles. After construction, Black workers mainly remain heavily employed in roles such as firemen, brakemen, and especially as Pullman porters. Legacy of exploitation. Convict leasing. After emancipation, Southern states continued to use Black labor through the convict leasing systems, while Black prison inmates, often imprisoned for minor crimes, were forced to work in railroad construction, continuing the legacy of slavery. Right? Let's move over. Let's keep it moving. And by 1930, African Americans comprised of 9.7% of the U.S. population. Roughly 11.9 million people face extreme economic devastation due to the Great Depression, with unemployment rates sometimes double or triple that. Mind you, it wasn't groups here in large numbers. They wasn't here yet. We were here, right? By 1932, many experienced severe poverty and discrimination while residing primarily in rural South as sharecroppers or in urban segregated slums. Often, the last hire and the first fire. Black workers' jobs to white workers in agricultural decline hit the farmers hard. So let's move over to the other group. Watch this, y'all. Here you go. Now, when they say immigrants, around this time, how many Caribbean immigrants were here, right? After the American Civil War, West Indian immigration to the U.S. grew significantly. The first wave of large-scale immigration occurred between 1881 to 1915, when more than 250,000 male laborers migrated to Central America, right, which would have been Panama to build the canal, right? Upon completing their work, many of these workers came to the U.S. By 1930, an estimated 100,000 Black migrants from the Caribbean or the West Indies basically lived in New York City, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and some in the South, right? So it was only like 100,000. It wasn't that many, but it was 11.9 million of us, right? We was the ones here on the ground rocking and rolling, right? So then let's move over one more time. According to the 1930 U.S. Census, the total populations of Asians, right, in America, specifically in the continental U.S., was approximately 264,000. So how could they build all the railroads like that when it was 11 million of us all throughout the South, the Midwest, the North, and when slavery was over, we were moving around looking for jobs. We outnumbered them in large vast. We built every damn thing, right? So don't let nobody paint this narrative, this lying narrative to us. No, we are who we are, right? We are who we are. And if you're gonna, so I wanted to I'm gonna stop sharing. I wanted to show that because I just wanted to show that I've been teaching this stuff and I've been explaining this stuff for a long time, right? And what I try to do, like I said, you got Black Alpha, you got Afro Elite, you got Professor Black Truth, the Black Authority, Tariq Nasheed, Ant CEO. What I try to do is I look at all the other brothers' channel and I try to come with a different angle. So I let the brothers go in the angle they go in, and it's Black History Month. I try to come in more on the education part angle of it, right? And give you guys the information on our story and our history. So I try to, so that way we don't just keep getting the same thing on every broadcast that we go on. Oh yeah, Phil Scott as well, right? We got to mix it up some. You know what I mean? We got to mix it up. And we all come with something. We all bring something different to the table, right? So that's what I try to bring. But we got to do a live stream on the Evanston, Illinois, and the reparations thing there. We got to talk about that. But I'm where I'm at. I'm 2 hours and 21 minutes in, man. My family probably like, what the heck is going on, man? We got to get ready. We got to get ready to get up on out of here, man. Yeah. Africans with self-knowledge know Black people in the U.S. are the strongest and most beautiful and have the best minds. We have been, but just when you come in here, though, but don't come in here lying on me saying I'm causing division. If you're gonna say that, come in here and tell the truth. Because I wasn't talking down on Africans. I was teaching history. That's what I was doing on both sides. Right. So I expect you, if you want to do things in good faith with us, the first thing you can do is be honest about things. Don't tell us lies. Especially don't come over here to educated Black people that already know the truth. Because the minute I detect you lying, I don't want you around. I don't want you around us. We got to deal with our own internal FBA liars that we're trying to get rid of. So I definitely don't want no foreign liars. Just come tell the truth. That's all, and we can have a conversation. But I want to thank everybody, man. I want to thank everybody for showing up, showing out, man, staying here, getting this information, man. Thank y'all. I'm planning my next live stream. We're gonna put it together. I'm gonna put my next live stream together. Remember, I love my people more than they hate themselves, and I pray to the universal creator Most High that these words was enough to inspire you. These words enough to make you look at yourself in the mirror and make change. These words enough to make you look at your children and know you have to make change. I hope that when you came here for information, and when you leave here greater than what you was before you came. You leave here edified. I hope that you share this information on all the social media mechanisms that we use to get the message across. It's time that we have the conversation, man. On a water cooler, at the job, with everybody. We got to have the conversation, man, to start moving our people forward. FBA is a movement. Remember, FBA is the Black Church, the Nation of Islam, your Hebrew Israelites, your Moors, your auntie, your mama. Is the Democratic Party, Republican Party. FBA is everything. It's not a gang or a group. It's a lineage of people that come from different places that have different thought processes that don't move in the same direction. So don't look at just FBA as just one thing or flat blackness, right? It's a lineage of people, right? And what's happening right now is amongst FBA, you have on the ground, you have the grassroots young people that's waking up and rebelling against the old way of doing things, and we want to do things differently because the old way of doing things hasn't worked, and now we're separating ourselves from a lot of the elders of the ones that fail. Not all of our elders, but the ones that still want to operate in the operation of failure. right? A lot of immigrants come to this country and they only be a part of blackness as long as it benefits them. But when they come here, they don't come here and join our struggle. They come here and they say bad things about us. They come here and they ingratiate themselves into white culture. They come here, they don't come and join our struggle and our fight with us, right? They come here and build, right? And then say, well, you guys are lazy. You did it. Why can't we do it? They don't come here and want to be a part of what we got going on. Right. And this is the new wave of the immigrants that's coming into this country now. And we're now saying that no longer serves us. We're not saying we hate all immigrants. We're saying that way of thinking no longer serves us. We're going to gatekeep our culture the same way you gatekeep your culture. Right. That's it. That's all we're saying. We're going to honor our ancestors the same way you honor yours. We're going to respect our house and make everybody respect our house because this is our house. And we're going to make everybody remember we fought for y'all to come here because we had enough heart and love for y'all at that time, right? So when you come here, just show some respect. Show some respect. That's it. That's all we're asking for. Black History Month is for foundational Black Americans. It's to tell our story of what happened to us in our ethnogenesis since we've been here. It's our long and mighty walk. It's our long and mighty road. It's our blueprint. It's our map. It's our compass, right? On our story of what happened to us. You guys wasn't here. So do you have contributions of people that came? Yes, but they came and added on to a system that was already in place. They added on to a fight and a struggle that was already in place. So while we mention a Marcus Garvey or Shirley Chisholm or Schomburg, and we mention them people, we can't forget the people that was already here, that was plowing the road, that was fighting a good fight. We have to make sure our children know their story. We have to make sure that our children know why it's important to be FBA and who they are, because we've been ripped apart from those shores and we don't know that part, but we know here and what we need to do here. We are a different ethnic group now. We are a different tribal group. We are our own group and we expect to be respected by that. And if you can't understand that, then you can't ally with us, because you are echoing the sentiments of the W supremacists. So I'm gonna cut it short here, man. Thank y'all guys for tuning in, man. I gotta go and eat, man. I'm starving, man. Thank you guys. Stay tuned. And again, as we leave out, if you guys want to donate to Urban Nerds, you can. It's pinned to the top. Do Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, man. Thank you, man. Remember, I love y'all. Till next time. Peace.